interfaith and you know, charities and all these things, and they claim this is the motive of the Muslim persona today, to be an outreach and to be helpful and to be involved in humanitarian things. So the question is in two parts. Number one, how wealthy are they really, and where is this money coming from? And the second question is, are they really as humanitarian as they claim to be?
Of course. Related to this very topic, which we already talked about, it's about they being, they are claiming divinity and making all the haram things halal. The question you asked earlier, maybe if I don't want to miss that question, because that is very important for the viewers to see how this person is manipulating his Ismaili followers. So this slide is important, my brother. So first of all, I would like to give the answer to this question, that of course Aga Khan has turned haram into halal and halal into haram, and things that Allah had made haram for Muslims, such as taking interest, riba, Aga Khan has made it halal for himself and for his followers. Riba is not at all forbidden for the Agha-khanis and even for Aga Khan himself. In fact, he owns several banking networks around the world. And other than that, Aga Khan has this chains of hotel called Sarina Hotel, where he openly sells alcohol. Aga Khan also owns company that sells pig. Let me bring all those slides so that everything should be verified side by side. So Aga Khan sells alcohol in his Sarina hotels. Then Aga Khan owns this east of one company known as Farmer's Choice, and where he sells pigs and pig meat and East Africa. In fact, he owns the largest pig farm in Kenya, and it is called the Farmer's Choice. And even Aga Khan mentioned this on his official website. So none of his haram businesses are any secrets to the world right now. He proudly owns it, my brother. So you can see.
So you know what? Before we get into the actual money, this is going to tie back to the earlier question, which you reminded me that it slipped my mind. But this is to describe the qiyamah, because the whole point of things becoming haram and halal, or making haram into halal, is the idea of qiyamah as-sughra, which is the idea that the Aga Khan has the ability as the imam to suspend the Sharia law as he sees fit, because of the time they're living in. And for them, my understanding is qiyamah is not the same way we understand it. When we say qiyamah, we mean resurrection on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. We mean when we are brought to hisab and to account, and when we will be judged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and resurrected. For them, they believe that this is something more of in this world, where there's the qiyamah as-sughra, where in which the imam can declare that they're living in a time that is full of, fitna, and they can adjust to this time period, and everything can change. Everything can be thrown out.
Of course, if we read the historical records in the period of the Imam 23rd Imam ala Zikr Salam, he declared the Qiyamah. It was 1164, and in the month of Ramzan, 17th Ramzan, he called his followers and he told them in the mid of the noon, in the middle of the day, it was around 12, and he asked his followers to turn their backs towards Qibla. And he said this, now we are in the Qiyamul Qiyamah. So now we are in the period of Qiyamah. And now you break your fast with wine and meat. So everybody in that fortress, they break their fast in the middle of noon, and they drink wine and they eat meat. And that is their first Qiyamah. And for them, they are going through Qiyamah. So none of the Sharia law is now going to be obeyed by them. So that was the first Qiyamah for them. And every Qiyamah comes after 7. It is a long but means concept where they have these 7 babs. After every 7 babs, there's one Qiyamah. Then again, 7 babs will come. So it's a very complicated concept, but these are things which the Ismaili don't tell to the normal Ismailis. When we came out of Ismailism, then I started reading about it. But that historical fact is all around the books. You can check in their Ismaili Tariqa and Ismaili books. Even their missionary brag about it, that how we are not following the Sharia. So that
So
was
basically, to people listening, is that there's a concept of this different version of qiyamah, and for whatever reason, however they justify it, but the end result is that there is a suspension of Sharia law, and basically the imam can reinstate or do whatever he pleases and order you to do certain things, whether not fasting, not praying, taking riba, drinking alcohol, mixing in genders, or whatever it is, drugs, whatever he feels is allowed in that time period. He can allow and he can even prohibit other things, but it's very unlikely he prohibits things. But nonetheless, they get around this by saying that because of the time period we're living in, it's a different time. So the imam is making ijtihad in trying to make it livable for the people, which is, of course, it's a twisting and it's nonsense. It's completely nonsense. But they justify this in order to suspend or to violate Sharia law, and to obviously do this for what? The imam benefits from this because his enterprises are in gambling, liquor, pork, banking, many different fields like this, and even their own Jamaat Khana is a social club where all of these things partake in, where they plan in these things, parties, dinner parties, maybe perhaps even drinking.
Celebrations, men and women dancing together for 3 days. Even that this past 2-3 days before, there was Aga Khan's own birthday, and they celebrated for 3 days. And in all these 3 days, they were dancing like crazy inside the Jamaat Khana. DJs were there. It was like a clubhouse and some bar party, and nobody minds because they say that they have the true modern Islam with them, quote unquote. They are the true living face of the Islam. They are more real representative of Islam. So they say that even my daughter is dancing with someone, we have a clear mind, we have a clear heart, so we don't mind them dancing with another boys and anything.
Astaghfirullah.
Yes.
But let me ask you, sister, have you ever seen like in a Jamaat Khana where there's like an open bar, like there's the pouring booze, like it? Does that exist?
Not inside the Jamaat Khana, but after partying or maybe before the party, they go through these clubs or whatever. But drinking, they don't mind. And coming back to this,
I'll be honest. I mean, I live in Chicago, and we have some Pakistani Aga-khanis here, and they all own liquor stores. They're very proud of it. They own liquor stores, and they're very proud of this fact that they have, they make record profits on liquor, and they are often they throw these parties where they want to invite, growing up in high school and college, they were there, and they would be oftentimes, supplying the liquor, and they would want to invite people to these things where they felt there was the modern, interpretation and secular Islam that they wanted in the Western world. They always claim, well, how are you going to assimilate? How are you going to reach out to other people if you behave differently, if you don't adopt to their customs? This is why Ismailism is right, because the Imam understands how to reach people, and so this is just he's allowing it temporarily because we live in a non-Muslim country, and this is how you relate to the people. It's a very strange understanding.
My brother, if you could show this slide to the audience. Sure. And it is clearly Aga Khan himself is saying that yes, alcohol is sold freely and not freely and it is only available to the foreigners. So he is justifying his alcohol selling inside his Sarina hotel. It is the address at the Sarina hotel opening. Mm-hmm. So when the Imam himself is allowing himself and he is selling alcohol and he is justifying it, why would the followers deny it? They are doing this business and they are profiting from it. So there are other things as well. Aga Khan does the gambling. Everyone knows that he owns the big stud farm where he breeds horses and he runs them in Derby and he gets betting prices from them. And then Aga Khan owns Jubilee Life Insurance and he also gets insurance money from the people.
Right.
As well.
Right. So what we're seeing is that the suspension of laws enables the Aga Khan and Aga-khanis to do all sorts of haram things, which ultimately allows them to benefit financially. And so that leads us to that question that we had. What is this guy? How much is he actually worth? How wealthy is he? And does he do any of this philanthropy that people claim that he is? Is he as generous? Are there foundations that actually help people? Because this is what they claim they do with the money. So let's talk about that a little bit. First of all, how wealthy is he?
Since he is making all the things haram to halal, halal to haram, and he abolished the veils, even in the Al magazine, he said very openly that veil was the pre-Islamic, pre-Arabia, pre-Islamic Arabia, and it was not meant for the woman, and it was for the slaves, not for the free woman. So things like that. Then they are saying that our women, you will not find any Ismaili woman wearing hijab, and they are free to do whatever they want. So their imam are openly asking their women to do like this fornication, this zina. And then about Aga Khan's own wealth. Yes, that is the main topic. How wealthy is Aga Khan? Well, he owns multi-million dollar horse racing, and let me bring all these things. Let me my brother show the. These are the companies which Aga Khan owns, and he owns multi-million dollar horse racing and breeding operations. One of the Britain's largest horse auction houses. Other things he owns are the 2 yachts. One yacht is let me bring it. One yacht is 200 million US dollar. And this yacht has a running cost of, let me bring it on the screen. It has an annual cost of 15 million US dollar for running only this yacht. So since he has two of these, so imagine. Then other things he owns is 2 private jets. Let me bring the 2 private jets. He owns these 2 private jets, 2 islands, one in Costa Smeralda, one in Bahamas. He owns 2 castles. Let me bring the castles, and yeah, this is the Bahamas and Costa Smeralda, and then he has 2 castles, one in France, one in India, and one resort. Let me bring that picture. One resort in Costa Smeralda was on sale in 1999, where his price was 60 million dirhams, that is 10.8 million euros.
So I have a question. Do Aga-Khanis get like a discount to travel to these resorts? Like, do they get like free club membership or something?
No,
Can
no,
they
no.
go to?
Only the celebrities. Like last time, if you can check this same very website about this one, you can see down there it has some heading that Bruce Willis was thrown out of this one of his club, which is on his island. So he owns nightclubs in these resorts, which are far from the public view, and where he has a party going on with celebrities and everything, and no paparazzis are allowed there. And other than that, nobody's allowed there, no discounts. Even whatever he is making, like this philanthropic work, I'm telling you that if he takes money, if he wants to build a Jamaat Khana, he asks for the followers for fund to fund it, and everything from nail to the cement, from everything is the followers bring it there, and they construct it. After that Jamaat Khana is completed, they put a big sign outside that this property belongs to Aga Khan. So blood and money, all things belongs to the followers, but when it is finished, it belongs to Aga Khan, and nobody is allowed inside. Nobody is going to sell it. So Aga Khan tells his followers to buy the most expensive plots for him, expensive lands for him, so that in the name of Jamaat Khana, these people, they will buy, and after that it will be Aga Khan's own property.
Interesting. So that goes to so the second part of the question. He has all this money. He has wealth. He has castles, resorts, yachts, planes, and probably numerous other enterprises. Is there any legitimate, charity work that the organization does? Are they actually charitable? Do they help, poor people or impoverished people? How does that work? Do they actually do that, or does he make his? Does he donate from his own wealth, or does he make his followers donate from their own wealth?
Brother, like I told you that from 1.3 billion yearly he gets from the Ismaili Aghakhanis, 1.3 billions, and from that he like what he does. From barely a little amount of the money he puts in some hospitals, then in some universities, some colleges, for schools, to show them that I am making something for you people. But even those places, even those institutes are not for free. If you search Aga Khan Hospital, that is the most expensive medical facility provided by anyone. Aga Khan builds this hospital in the name of charity. Even Pakistani government put a case on